The door is now closed on a Central Georgia Animal Control Center. What a state agency is saying about the shutdown in Lawrence County.
And a robbery in Macon leaves deputies trying to find those responsible, the 4 people they're looking for, and how you can help their investigation.
Plus, a new treatment center opened in Milledgeville hopes to help people addicted to opioids. A look at the treatments they offer and how the center will help. Well, good Wednesday morning. You're taking a live look over a beautiful downtown Macon. How you feeling? I hope you're feeling good on this hump day. The time is now 6:30 a.m. on this March the 30th. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Wanye Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck, and it is going to be a windy Wednesday ahead.
Oh, yes. I was already feeling it this morning, Court, on my way to work.
That's right. Yeah, windy and warm. Those are the 2 W's for this Wednesday. Be sure you prepare for it. If you have any kind of loose items out in your lawn chairs, stuff like that, probably going to want to secure those down. As the wind is fairly calm right now, I've been kind of looking at the flag on top of the BB&T there to get a gauge of what the wind is looking like. And you can see east at 6 miles per hour, so fairly light right now, but that will change through the day. 55 in the city of Macon, warmer out there for the morning. And notice the dew point measures the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. That's also slightly higher, so you'll notice just a hint of extra moisture out there as you head out the door. 57 in Warner Robins, 61 in Montezuma, 55 in Forsyth and in Dublin, 58 in Gordon, and 59 in Milledgeville. Wind anywhere between 3 to 6 miles per hour, but through the day today could experience wind 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusts between 35 and 45 miles per hour. We have a wind advisory that goes into effect starting at 11 a.m. It's all ahead of a cold front already bringing severe storms to our west, and it could bring us severe weather tomorrow morning. I'll have all the details, time it all out for you. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Courtney. We start this half hour with continuing coverage on Lawrence County Animal Control as the state agency has now shut it down. That's according to Bo Warren with the Georgia Department of Agriculture.
Now, this morning, we're hearing from 2 women who had dogs that they say were mistreated at the Animal Control Center. In our last report a few weeks ago, Brian Rogers, who is the county administrator for Lawrence County, denied neglect of one of the dogs at the shelter. He blamed the weight loss of the dog on going from a diet with table scraps to one of only dog food. We
spoke to Macy Roundfield, one of the people who reached out to us initially about problems with animal control in the county.
The statements that were made by the county administration are very untrue as far as Dixie getting fed nothing but table scraps. That's a ludicrous excuse for her condition that she ended up in while in their care.
Catherine Woods is another person we heard from about the shelter. She runs Rock On Rescue and says she's had concerns about Lawrence County Animal Control for at least 15 years.
In January, she says she rescued an emaciated dog from the shelter.
Was so emaciated he could almost not walk. He was off balance. He was emaciated to the point of when I first saw him on January 7th, I looked at him and I said, somebody needs accountability, something needs to be done.
Now, 2 weeks ago, the county administrator, Brian Rogers, denied there were any problems at the Animal Control Center. He said local critics were spreading misinformation. He did not return our phone calls yesterday.
Bo Warren with the State Agriculture Department would not comment on why the shelter is closed, but he did say the state has an open investigation into the Animal Control Center. We hope to have an update in a few days. A man is now in jail after a shooting in Washington County over the weekend. That's one of 3 other headlines we're following for you this morning. Sheriff Joel Cochran says 21-year-old Setavius Harris turned himself in last night. Harris is charged with aggravated assault, reckless conduct, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. Those charges come after a shooting early Sunday morning in the 700 block of Matthews Road outside of Tennille. It happened after a gathering there when one person got shot. Medics airlifted that person shot to a trauma center.
Well, right now, BIB deputies are looking for the young men responsible for a robbery at a Macon gas station. It happened at the Marathon on Broadway just before 9 last night. The sheriff's office says 4 male juveniles went into the store with guns and demanded money from the register. They drove away after getting some cash. If you have any information, you can call Macon Regional Crime Stoppers. That number is 1-877-68-CRIME. Again, 1-877-68-CRIME. A Johnson County family is still looking for answers in their loved one's disappearance. 60-year-old Donald Hightower and his car went missing about 5 months ago. His family says Hightower watched a football game with them in October. After the game, he was supposed to drive from a family member's house and call them when he made it home. He never did. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office says they have searched for him ever since using drones, dive teams, search dogs, and more. If you have any information about the missing 60-year-old or his 2003 Toyota Camry, you can reach out to the Sheriff's Office at 478-864-4003. Again, 478-864-4003. And now to your news from across the state, including a case against a health insurance company, which probably covers a lot of you.
The Georgia Insurance Commissioner's Office announced a $5 million fine against Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield on yesterday. The fine comes after a month-long examination into the company's practices. The Commissioner's Office says the examination uncovered a number of serious problems, including improper claim settlement practices, violations of the Prompt Pay Act, and failure to reply to consumer complaints in a timely manner.
Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield says the exam focused on a provider database system that was implemented in Georgia nearly 7 years ago and is no longer in use. They say they have since moved to a new platform with the goal of improving accuracy and transparency. Along with that $5 million fine, the health insurance company has to submit monthly reports to officials, which could last until March of next year.
Well, horse race betting could be back on the table in Georgia. Voters could decide in November whether they want to allow that, along with betting on sports and casino gambling. This week, a state House committee passed a proposed constitutional amendment and a bill that would legalize sports betting on college and pro sports. The amendment must pass both the House and Senate with a 2/3 majority, though. Earlier this month, state senators defeated a constitutional amendment focused only on horse race betting.
And a bill that would let parents opt their kids out of public school mask mandates is now law. Governor Brian Kemp signed off the Unmask Georgia Students Act yesterday. The opt-out will last for 5 years through the middle of 2027, although lawmakers say the governor could override it if a public health emergency is declared. Speaking of masks, one Central Georgia hospital system will change their policy today. Atrium Health Navicine says face coverings are now optional in non-clinical buildings in Macon. That includes their Wellness Center, Navicine Health Foundation, Human Resources Building, business offices on Riverside Drive and in downtown Macon, and the Peyton Anderson Health Education Center. Keep in mind, you still must mask up if you're going to a clinical building where any patient care is happening.
Prioritizing your mental health could get a little easier here in Central Georgia. What one health department is offering that could take the weight off of your wallet. Plus,
this week's top teacher is shaping his students to learn like rock stars. Find out who? Coming next.
we're certainly looking forward to those stories. The time is now 6:37 a.m. and right now you can say it's the calm before the storm.
Yes, exactly. And that wind is already starting to pick up a little bit this morning.
That's right, yeah, and it's just a precursor to more to come as we head into today and more so, of course, tomorrow morning when we look ahead to that severe threat. March has been a very active month so far across the southeast, and unfortunately, this is just the beginning of severe weather season here across central Georgia and across the southeast. March, April, May, that is the most active time for here in central Georgia, and March is really showing its teeth already. Of course, we do have that severe threat tomorrow that we will cover in just a couple of minutes here. Right now, you're looking live on top of the fairgrounds. The wind has seemed to calm down here. I've been keeping an eye on the flags. That's kind of been my gauge for the wind speed for the start of the day. Right now, east at 6 miles per hour in the city of Perry, but it seems like everything is pretty calm right now. But the wind, yes, will continue to pick up as we go through the day today. 58 in the city of Perry. It's warmer out there. As our wind comes in out of the east-southeast, that is going to pull in more warmth and more moisture indicated by those higher dew points. Dew points, of course, measure the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, and that is one of the ingredients that we're going to need for that potential for severe storms tomorrow. Moisture will continue to pump in, so you'll notice that hint of humidity through the day today, but that wind, that's going to be more than just a hint. It is going to be very present. In fact, we do have a wind advisory in effect for all of the area starting at 11 o'clock this morning. And that will go until 8 a.m. tomorrow. 15 to 25 mile per hour sustained winds. Gusts as high as 45 miles per hour will be possible. You can see some of our counties aren't highlighted in that, but don't get me wrong. If you're in Hancock, Washington, Johnson, Trutland, and Wheeler counties, you are still going to be quite breezy today. It's all a precursor to our cold front that has already brought severe weather to parts of Arkansas and parts of Oklahoma this morning. You can see several severe thunderstorm warnings. I was reading the logistics on these from the Storm Prediction Center, and within these severe thunderstorm warnings, 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Crazy. And this front will continue to push off to the east and not only bring us a severe threat, but bring a significant severe threat yet again for the second week in a row. Man, are we thinking about all of the people and the meteorologists. That's some hard work out to our west in parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Strong EF2 long track tornadoes expected there. If you have family or friends within this area, anywhere between the orange and red shaded color there especially, be sure that they are staying weather aware today and updated on their forecast. And wind gusts upwards of 75 miles per hour will be possible. To kind of put that in perspective, a Category 1 hurricane contains winds of 74 miles per hour, so they could experience gusts that high. Going to really be quite the severe weather setup today. Now that threat does extend into central Georgia. This technically the day 1 threat goes into tomorrow morning, so 5 to 7 a.m. is when this day will cover our severe threat, but then we extend that threat into the early afternoon. And we do have a level 2 out of 5 threat for a good portion of central Georgia, especially south and east of Macon. Most widespread threat, damaging wind gusts and heavy rainfall, but a brief isolated tornado, especially south and east of Macon, can't be ruled out. So as we go through the day today, that front taking advantage of the heat of the day. Out ahead of this front, discrete supercells will be possible, and it knocks on the door of northwest Georgia through the overnight hours, and then our door by 5 a.m. So 5 a.m., that's when we open up that window of opportunity for severe storms. The front does fall apart as it moves through, but for the commute, heavy downpours will be possible. Wind will be very gusty. In fact, any isolated severe storms upwards of 60 miles per hour. So as you're getting ready to head out tomorrow morning, be sure you have a way to receive weather warnings. It is going to be a messy commute. By 11 a.m., front starts to sink into our southern counties, and that's when I think we'll be watching for maybe a brief isolated tornado threat. Comes to an end by 1, and then second half of the day looks great. So windy today, be weather aware come tomorrow morning, and then low to mid 70s Friday through Monday, and we'll stay dry. Next rain chance returns Tuesday.